going to preface this because I have a very weird feeling about this movie. Very confused feeling.
Feel tingly in all the wrong places.
No, like... All right. This is not a good movie. This movie's crap. But I would watch a sequel. Yeah. I would gladly watch a sequel. Like,
it can't be worse.
Well, not just that, but like what this movie did do for me is I used to think Green Lantern is lame. I used to think as a superhero he's lame, he's a loser. What this did for me is it showed me a concept that could be turned into a good movie. Yeah. What I was watching was not a good movie. It's not funny. No. I do think Ryan Reynolds is perfect casting for Hal Jordan.
Really?
I do.
I think he's the number one problem with the movie.
I think
this could have been a good movie if they casted someone else.
No.
Who would you cast?
And I don't think actually got good writers.
Yeah, I think the writing is most of the problem. I also think that for some reason the comic timing is off. I've seen Ryan Reynolds have very good comic timing. I've seen him deliver a line, and I think that there were some scenes, especially towards the end, where the movie actually did start to grab my attention. But because the beginning was so awful, so boring, like just boring. This movie, and the other thing, people are lauding the CGI in this film. It's awful. It's not good. It's not good. It's really not.
You notice they were kind of embarrassed about the mask. They'd like put it on him and they'd get it off him as quickly as they could. You could tell like the people who did it were, this is not good.
Just make him wear a regular green mask. Yeah. You know, it just, so what if it has little energy stuff coming off or not? You can do that in CGI. Yeah. You know, it doesn't look... The plot lines are dumb. The action scenes, they don't get to any semblance of watchable until the end. Mm-hmm. And somewhat at the end, I thought Peter Sarsgaard at times at the end came through as a really, really creepy bad guy, but his lines are so awful that he has to deliver. And what I don't understand, he's a lot of makeup. They did a lot of makeup work on him. Yeah. And he looked good. Yeah. And then on the other hand, they have all this CGI on Ryan Reynolds. And it clearly looks like CGI. Yeah. And the other huge problem with the film is that the supporting cast of characters, there is not a speckle of like depth in any of them. Blake Lively as Carol Ferris.
Two-dimensional love interest.
Awful. Yeah.
Yeah. She's terrible.
Tim Robbins terrible.
That initial scene with them in the bar was one of the most
awkward.
Yeah, lackluster. Like there's no chemistry whatsoever, and he's like, dance with me, and they're like playing a little game, and I was like, really, this is.
And Ryan Reynolds is a guy who can have chemistry with anybody.
He's good. He's actually really good.
Definitely, maybe he has chemistry with like 3 very different women in one film, and like brilliant chemistry. Yeah,
he's actually pretty good at the romantic comedy. Yeah.
You know? I didn't see any chemistry between them until the very end, when the very end of the movie, when he tells her that he's not going to be around for a while. Yeah, and that's the only instance where I actually saw chemistry between the two of them.
Yeah, yeah. I can't like.
There are moments when he's flying in the background that you could tell it's just all CGI, and they fade into like real Ryan Reynolds. And you can clearly see the transition.
CGI to real. It's pretty...
Yeah. There's a lot of times where it just looks like they're filming his head and then just pasting it onto things.
Yeah. There doesn't seem to be any attempt to blend it, or there's sometimes when it's really bad green screen, it looks like behind them. It looks like almost sometimes you see in movies like bad reshoots because they just try and stick them in there. But there's a lot of parts in this movie that the CGI is very poorly used. So let's talk a little bit about how you use CGI, how CGI should be used in a film, especially like right now, it's pretty accessible. Yeah. There are films like Monsters or District 9, which can do CGI very inexpensively.
And better.
Better, yeah. And then there are films who can spend well over $300 million and not do it well. So how do you use it well?
Well, I guess when you're making a lot of characters in CGI, I feel that the zoomed out, panned out shots, like the battle scenes in Two Towers, those work very well. Yeah. But the fight scene in the second Matrix between Neo and the 100 Agent Smiths, that looked terrible to me.
Artistically, it doesn't look good. In my mind, I'm like, it looks cool. But artistically, it's clearly CGI.
Well, yeah.
It's very bad CGI, but I don't know.
It's choreographed cool.
It's choreographed well, but I'm watching it and my brain is saying, this isn't real, this is wrong. I didn't have a good time watching that scene.
And you can see the transition from real, from where he beats up the stunt doubles, like in Green Lantern. The transition is so stark.
Yeah.
Well, you can even see those transitions in Lord of the Rings sometimes, though. With Legolas, and he's like jumping up on the Oliphant, or you see those some of those transitions, but I don't know. In that, it doesn't bother me so much because the rest of it's so good, and I don't know how they would have done it any other way.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have. They had to do CGI, but I mean, to me, that CGI just didn't look good as CGI.
Yeah, well, even in Matrix, they could have done some camera tricks to, limit the amount of CGI.
Well, and Peter Jackson would do real, as much as you can, doing it to some sense of reality, right, will just make it better, because in the end, all that you have, if you do everything on the computer, and you don't give people something real, there is still a difference, right?
Yeah, you can tell.
In Lord of the Rings, he would use a lot of miniatures.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even though Two Towers had those zoomed out shots, those were zoomed out shots onto miniatures that they would then CGI characters onto.
Yeah.
So the CGI characters are on a palette of reality. So the thing is, when he's flying around in space, we look at it and we say that's not actually a shot of space. We clearly know this, you know. And so that's always my big
Green Lantern or Batman Forever.
Green Lantern, easy. Partly because what Batman Forever did to Batman.
That's true.
You know, it took what...
I think not Batman and Robin.
No, it's not, but it's pretty damn near. You know? I mean, it took what he did in what Tim Burton did in the first Batman and Batman Returns, which is decent. It's not as good, but it's decent.
It made it
schlock. You know, it just made it absolute, like, camp and, like, nothing you could ever take seriously.
Yeah, it took a lot of the darkness out of Batman and made him comic.
Yeah, like the 60s series, which was...
But without the 60s series is so over the top, in your face, that it's hilarious. You know.
Tommy Lee Jones was just terrible in this movie.
Awful, yeah. He was basically doing his role in Natural Born Killers with bad makeup.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, the whole point of Two-Face is to be, like, split between two things, and he was just full-on crazy the entire time. And
you know what I thought? I think Jim Carrey is an inspired pick for the Riddler.
He was. He was very good for the Riddler.
Yeah,
he might have been over the top.
Yeah,
just a hair, but
I think the way they interpret the Riddler and what they have the Riddler do is like and the set pieces are weak. Val Kilmer is a terrible. Who else is in that? Who's his
Chris
love
O'Donnell as Robin movie? Is awful.
Did he have? I can't remember.
There's a woman.
There's always a love interest.
Yeah,
I don't remember who it was.
But was that the one with Alicia Silverstone?
There isn't in The Dark Knight. There's no love interest in The Dark Knight.
When they get rid of her.
Well, there is. What's her name? They kill her.
They kill her.
She's not really a love interest,
she is.
There's no, like, kissing scene. Or
there's no kissing scene, but there's definitely a romantic connection between the two.
Oh, I think it's like a one-way romantic connection.
I think so.
He desires her, but knows that he can't have her, which is part of what I think makes the movie so brilliant, is that it removes the love interest from Batman.
I think it's
he probably realized that it was
one of those distancing because, you know...
Her death is an amazing part of that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because you do not suspect it, and you're like...
Wait, no.
Oh, crap. And that's when you realize
he picked the wrong one. Right?
Yeah, the Joker's... Yeah. How smart he is and how manipulative he is.
Yeah.
You know, that's the moment when the Joker becomes truly frightening.
Yeah. But,
yeah, I'll go Green Lantern.
Green Lantern?
Yeah, the Joel Schumacher Batman should be punished for all eternity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Joel Schumacher, you're a decent director, but...
Remove it.
Terrible choices.
Yeah.
You need to learn to make better choices.
Here we go, another comic book matchup. Green Lantern or Daredevil?
Daredevil.
Both
Really?
have Michael Clark Duncan.
I think I would say these movies are probably pretty equal, but the years of pent up aggression towards Daredevil have like pushed it down even further. You know, like I remember enjoying parts of Green Lantern. I don't remember enjoying anything about Daredevil.